Fans Beyond Wrestling, this is Denver, Colorado, the man, not the place. We don't need no stinking introductions. Let's get right into it. All Killer episode 13. And what a bizarre match we're going to be starting off with. Drew Gulak versus Steve the Turtle Weiner. Of course, Drew Gulak is a world-traveled competitor. One of the best we've got here at Beyond Wrestling, that's for sure. And Steve the Turtle Weiner, a bit misguided, albeit a very eager wrestler. Very unorthodox, very strange. We're going to see how these two styles, very traditional style out of Drew Gulak, if he's going to be able to make short work of Steve the Turtle Weiner, or if perhaps the Turtle can hang with Drew Gulak. I think that Turtle's certainly an underdog coming into this match, but that's not a position that he is unfamiliar with. Either way, I don't think that Gulak should be taking his opponent too lightly. Steve the Turtle Weiner, somebody that's competed all throughout the Northeast. Probably most well known for his appearances in Jaka. And there we see Drew Gulak getting into his head. Not sure if he's going to be looking to tie up or perhaps shoot a single leg to take Turtle down to the mat. But Turtle reluctantly tying up Drew Gulak, and very quickly Drew Gulak able to control the wrist to Steve the Turtle Weiner. Turtle unable to find a counter. Now Gulak wrenching the wrist in the opposite direction for locking up those knuckles. But look at the Turtle. Oh, trying to roll through, unable to do so because of that Turtle shell, and instead he finds himself in a hammerlock. I mean, at least you can tell Turtle's watching his tapes, even if he's not the best athlete. And Turtle getting frustrated. I think Gulak having a little bit of fun with him, releasing the hold. Of course, Turtle being the underdog, you see that he's actually got the support of the other wrestlers here. Was able to duck underneath the collar and elbow tie-up attempt from Drew Gulak, instead going to that waist lock. Again, Gulak with a reversal, though, just like that, and continuing to apply pressure on the wrist. And just as we saw previously, reversing the pressure, we saw Turtle on instinct alone, perhaps, rolling through to try and alleviate some of that pressure. But now Gulak is bending his arm in a way that it is not intended to bend. At the point of the wrist, but trying to really hyperextend and dislocate that elbow. And now the Turtle finally rolling through to alleviate some of that pressure. Give him credit, even though he's still in the hold. He just can't match the technical prowess of Drew Gulak. Now rolling through, reversing the position, but could not maintain the hold. Instead, Gulak going to that side headlock. What a mid-ring collision that we saw right there. The momentum taking both of these competitors down. I don't know if they might have smashed heads. That was a nasty spill. Nevertheless, almost a moment of equalization. We've got both competitors at a vertical base, and we're back to square one. Now the Turtle going to that collar and elbow tie-up. Easy for me to say. Take it down with that arm drag, and Gulak maintaining the point of contact at both wrists. Easy pin for Gulak right here, but Turtle had a counter. Once again, Turtle trying to roll to his stomach where he cannot be pinned. That was a smart move, but he might have left himself vulnerable for a submission predicament. We know that Gulak likes to apply that single leg crab and kick his opponent in the back. I don't know if he can do that with Turtle's shell on, and it looks like he might be trying to remove that protective shell. Why does Steve Weiner get to wear it? Because he's a Turtle. Now with Turtle subdued, removing that protective shell. And Drew Gulak, even with Turtle's leg trap, still having a little bit of fun. Now he's got it strapped on tight before he transitions to that front chancery. A very bizarre match. Certainly, I can't imagine that you'd see this contest anywhere else but Beyond Wrestling. But again, let's give Turtle the opportunity to show what he's got. Right there, we saw Gulak shoot the half Nelson. Turtle proudly displaying his right shoulder was off the mat. Gulak giving him a shell back. And you're going to think any other competitor would have taken that opportunity to perhaps land a cheap shot on Steve the Turtle Weiner. Not Drew Gulak. If he's going to beat his opponent, it's going to be based on his God-given ability and nothing else. Once again, locking up knuckles. Look at the way Gulak's so smooth. He used his entire body's weight, even though the point of contact was just those knuckles, and was able to bring Turtle down to the mat. We're seeing a clinic on display right here from Drew Gulak, who now sending the Turtle overhead, tumbling to the canvas, and once again, it looks like he's trying to hyperextend that elbow. Turtle's going to be especially careful right here, because if his elbow is popped out of socket, he's going to be forced to give up the match. There's no way that he's going to be able to compete with his arm dangling at his side. In addition to that, the position that he's in, he's going to be careful about getting pinned. Now Gulak just bending each of the individual fingers of Steve the Turtle Weiner. I'll tell you what, that cannot feel good. Turtle once again trying to rock his weight to see if he can find a counter. And it looks like he was going to be going through the legs of Drew Gulak, but instead put himself in a position for a cross arm breaker. Turtle, to his credit, the larger competitor in this match, trying to stack up Gulak, not only with his weight, but Gulak's weight too. And that was good for a near fall, believe it or not. Gulak's been wrestling circles around the Turtle, but only takes 3 seconds. Don't forget that. We've seen Steve the Turtle Weiner defeat Chris Dickinson. We've seen him defeat Mark Angel. It would certainly still be an upset if he can defeat Drew Gulak right here, right now. Is it implausible? Yes. Is it impossible? No. Now Drew Gulak once again continuing to attack the arms, albeit this time the right arm. Oh, perhaps he's going to be trying to weaken Turtle up to get him in that Gulak, that sleeper hold. Having a little fun with Steve Weiner right here. Again, as Turtle's trying to find an escape. Oh, thought that Turtle might have put himself in the position for the Gulak. But look at the power on that kick out. Where does he find the strength sometimes? I could never tell you. Turtle is such an anomaly. And I don't know if I've ever met anybody that loves professional wrestling more than Steve the Turtle Weiner. It is legitimately his entire life. I mean, if anybody's seen the Wrestling Road Diaries, you know, his apartment is literally just filled with tapes. And in his free time, that's all he does is study them. Right there we saw the counter with that kangaroo kick. Tying up once again with Drew Gulak. Now we're starting to see a more aggressive side out of Gulak as he's seen that Turtle is probably putting up more of a fight than he would have anticipated. He's got that waistlock applied on the side. Turtle trying to break the grip, but instead found himself in a position where his legs were swept out from underneath him, and now we see the half crab applied. I'll tell you what, from this position, I bet you Gulak, which is that he still kept that turtle, he didn't give that turtle shell back to Steve Weiner. Because it's from this position that he likes to hit those kicks in between the shoulder blades. He's got that reverse heel hook applied. And even still, I mean, Turtle just contemplating giving up. Got to be some serious damage being done to that knee, being torqued in a very uncomfortable position. And this is certainly a move that affects the entire lower part of the leg as well. You see Gulak contemplating whether or not to bring that foot down. Turtle once again with the strength, basically just standing up in a vertical base. And even with the legs hooked. But Gulak now reversing the position, and now he's got Turtle hooked up. Turtle kicking out. Gulak looking to send Turtle across the ring. Look at the evasion out of Turtle! Turtle with the schoolboy! Oh, but he's got the arm trapped. And Gulak going right into that submission hold. Who would have thought that this match would have been as competitive as it has been so far? Do not sell Steve the Turtle Weiner short. He has been able to effectively land some counters on one of the most gifted wrestlers in the United States right now, in Drew Gulak. Still at such a young age, he is a world travel competitor, training with both Chikara and CZW, really starting to make a name for himself now with the Wrestling Is Promotions. But I think if you asked him, he'd probably tell you that Beyond Wrestling is his home. Now Turtle able to find a counter. He's got that side head scissors applied. And again, just how strong the Turtle is, this is a submission predicament. Normally, you would think that Gulak would have been able to find a counter right now, but he cannot get out of this hold. I think that Turtle might have lost his position right there. Gulak's going to be careful that he doesn't pass out. There you see him trying to kip up out of it, barely even able to budge Steve Weiner. And again, Turtle's barely even moving. This is unbelievable. Gulak finally with the strength. Comes charging and gets caught with that back elbow. Turtle looking for that backsplash in the corner. Gulak had it scouted. And now Gulak with that flying cross body. And that's enough to put Steve Weiner away. Drew Gulak picking up a victory here. Moving up to +7. It's going to be a tough loss for Steve the Turtle Weiner, but again, to his credit, he really put up a tremendous fight against Drew Gulak. Probably a better fight than anybody would have ever given him credit for. And really displaying his technical acumen as well. I don't know if we're going to see Steve the Turtle Weiner challenging for any pure titles anytime soon. But even in defeat, he cannot be embarrassed about that performance. I think Drew Gulak really letting this moment sink in. He's got a sight set on Steve the Turtle Weiner. Turtle extending the hand. And there we see the handshake out of Drew Gulak and Steve the Turtle Weiner. That's sportsmanship right there. That's what Beyond Wrestling is all about. Did I forget to inform you that this is also the most bizarre episode of All Killer?
Hey man, I know my rights.
And here we see Slater Quaid.
Highway. Sit down, take a chill pill. I don't care what you have to say.
The other wrestlers telling Sugar Dunker to take a chill pill. Of course, Slater Quaid coming to Beyond Wrestling to avenge the death of his brother. He wants to try and find the killer, and he has reason to believe that that man is a member of the Beyond Wrestling roster.
Where's your badge? This is the new suspect. Scotty Wild, is that your name? Yeah. Wild, no? You are the new suspect.
Well, Scotty Wild's in the ring. And it seems as though Slater Quaid has pinpointed him as the latest suspect. The ongoing investigation to find the man that killed his brother.
Listen, Zebra Man, the last Zebra Man took place when I was trying to interrogate the suspects. I don't have time for shenanigans. Stay out of the way while they interrogate. Now, you. Guys, quiet.
Well, he's telling the referee to stay out of the way.
You, sir, where were you on the morning of October 13, 2012?
The referee called for the bell.
Lies. You were true lies.
He's asking for the bell to be wrong. He better watch out. He's going to get his bell wrong.
Get out of here! My Cody couldn't even put on his gear.
Slater Quaid is a tall guy. I would not want to be messing with him.
What is wrong with this guy?
Well, Scotty Wild saying that that's TJ Marconi. We just saw by the name bar that that's obviously Slater Quaid.
Now, who the hell is Marconi? Is he the killer? No, he's you. No, my name is Detective Slater Quaid. What is with Beyond Wrestling? Split personas. What the hell are you talking about, man? You killed my brother, now you're gonna come back with me and not.
Would Scotty Wild kill somebody?
Get out of here. I'm not going
Well, Scotty Wild's not going anywhere. Much to the chagrin of Slater Quaid, the bell has sounded. And Slater Quaid's going to try and arrest Scotty Wild.
I didn't kill anybody. They said there's a man in purple shorts and purple, blue, whatever the color that is coming out of the crotch over here.
Slater Quaid cannot identify colors. If it was a man in purple trunks, clearly Scotty Wild is not the killer. Scotty Wild, I think he's had enough. But I don't know if he wants to strike an officer of the law. And Slater Quaid, obviously he has been trained in the stylings of physical hand-to-hand combat. And look at that, really building up momentum off the ropes. I don't know if this guy's a professional wrestler. Just because he knows how to fight doesn't mean he knows his way out of around a wrestling ring. Sending Scotty Wilde down with a judo throw.
Who's it? Tell me the killer's name! I don't know. You were with him! No, you with him!
And very awkwardly coming off the ropes. Just punching him in the face. Was Scotty Wilde with the man that killed Slater Quaid's brother? Just tell him the name. Okay, let's think about it. It's illegal to torture somebody in the United States, correct? But in the context of a professional wrestling match, you can get as physical as you want. Oh! Slater Quaid, I don't think he saw that one coming. I don't know how many thugs on the street that he's encountered that are willing to fight with moves like that, a knee to the face. Look at the agility out of Scotty Wilde. I think that he thought that perhaps that Slater Quaid was going to be charged again, but again, Slater Quaid, not a professional wrestler. He's a professional detective. That's his trade. That's how he makes his money. He's come to Beyond Wrestling with a very personal issue. All right, just tell him. Tell him being us. Him is awesome. Let's tell us. How much more of a beating does Scotty Wilde want to face? He's being choked out right here. I don't even know if that's a legal chokehold. Well, what is the official? I don't think that Quaid's familiar with the rules of professional wrestling whatsoever. Getting rolled up right here.
You know what? I've had enough of your shenanigans. If you got a problem, you can come charge at me and do whatever you like to do about it. Come on, do something about it. You gonna tell his name or not?
Scotty Wilde come charging in at the behest of Slater Quaid. Let's get him up in that fireman's carry position. Scotty Wilde, I mean, he does not know who killed Slater Quaid's brother. You've got to think that if he would have known, he would have fessed up by now. Oh, rather than facing a beating like that, a very unorthodox slam, if nothing else, just being driven to the canvas. Slater Quaid doing his best to continue the interrogation. Scotty Wilde trying to win a match. I think I don't think either of these guys are in the ring for the same purpose. But Wilde connected with a number of drop kicks, some unexpected athleticism. But as he came charging in, again, that big boot from Slater Quaid, putting Wilde ass first on the mat. Well, Slater Quaid saying that he saw this once in a wrestling match. That big flying punch. Well, if your opponent has all of his teeth knocked down his throat, I don't know how you're going to understand him if he's going to be saying the name of the man that killed him. Well, the official's telling him to pin him. The official talking Quaid through this, but he's not going to get the answer to who killed his brother, unless it was the official. I could see that. I could see this man. Now, this is a man that seems capable of murder. We got to be careful what sort of potential murderers that we invite here to Beyond Wrestling. A completely lawless land. Although Slater Quaid trying to bring some order to things. But he's certainly not going to get an answer from Scotty Wilde, who probably needs to be checked into a hospital.
My hand. Usually when I do that, it leaves a hole.
Well, with his own personal brand of justice is Slater Quaid here in Beyond Wrestling. Beyond Wrestling, we have a point system. It's very simple. If you win a match, you win a point. If you lose a match, you lose a point. And unfortunately, Johnny Miyagi has lost every single match he's competed in Beyond Wrestling. Eric Corvis is somebody that's always at the top of the card, but he has never been able to capture that elusive #1 spot. Of course, a win over Johnny Miyagi here seems like it would bring him a little bit closer, but just as we saw in the first match between Steve the Turtle Weiner and Drew Gulak, it seems like we have a bit of a mismatch. Well, the official calling for the bell. Getting pretty late here at the All-Killer taping. What is going on here at Beyond Wrestling? Finally, something resembling a bell has sounded, enough to signify the start of this contest. In the good old days, we had a recording off of a computer. I don't think we've ever actually had a bell. You know how expensive a ring bell is? The Bald Bull, Johnny Miyagi, not back in town. Trying to push Corvis. Corvis didn't even budge. Oh, that rocked him though. The bony elbows of Johnny Miyagi. You know, sometimes with a competitor this small, I know it's gonna sound bizarre coming out of my mouth, but without having that much muscle, there's really not much between the skin and the bone, and so those shots can be that much more devastating. With that said, Corvis took him down with one chop, threw him across the ring with a heel, and it looks like Johnny Miyagi is going to be toast in just a couple seconds. I like Miyagi. He's a good guy. He's got a lot of tenacity. He's got a lot of guts. He keeps showing up to Beyond Wrestling despite the beatings that he's encountered, but you hear it coming out of Corvis's mouth now, asking the other wrestlers whether or not you thought Miyagi had a chance, and it looks like Corvis has made short work of Miyagi. Oh! Taking the inside of his forearm, driving it across the side of the skull of Johnny Miyagi. Now Eric Corvis. Now one thing you gotta be careful in a match like this is that there's a difference, there's a line you can cross between having your opponent defeated and then inflicting punishment, doing permanent damage, taking away somebody's career away from them. And at that point, it should be up to the referee's discretion. Each one of these chops, I don't know if it's bringing Corvis closer to his victory. I think, honestly speaking, he may have Miyagi beat. But look at Miyagi responding with his open hand slaps. Ducking out of the way in that double chop. Finally starting to do some damage to Corvis. He took him down. That might be the first time in Beyond Wrestling history where Johnny Miyagi was able to go for a pin. And maybe all the time that he spent, maybe he's going back and watching his previous matches here at youtube.com/beyondwrestling, learning from some of his mistakes, becoming a better competitor. And look at Corvis. Oh, just muscled him down into that backbreaker. Johnny Miyagi can't be more than 125 pounds soaking wet. He's very resilient. I'm hesitant to call him fragile. Oh! The kick in between the shoulder blades. You can see that rattling his entire body. Corvis is going to try and put his boot right through the entire chest cavity from the opposite side. You hear one of the wrestlers telling Miyagi, live to fight another day. And now Corvis bringing in, I don't know, one of his books. Perhaps where he keeps some of his strategies, a playbook, if you will. Again, Corvis, a competitor, so difficult to scout for, so very innovative, the type of guy that'll use an offensive maneuver that's impossible to scout for because he'll use it once and he'll never use it again. How do you have a counter for a move that you've never seen before? And perhaps that's what he's got written down in that playbook right there. Instead, Johnny Miyagi is able to find an escape to his feet, missing wildly with that haymaker, and just muscled by Corvis. Oh! Killed him with that clothesline. He ain't done. Roll in position now, that shining wizard, the knee right to the skull. Miyagi's done. Corvis is gonna beat. Corvis instead positioning his book back in the corner. You know, when you've got a competitor like Jaka in the ring with Johnny Miyagi, when Jaka has Johnny Miyagi beat, he's going to go right for the pin. Instead, Corvis wants to inflict punishment. Corvis has not had the easiest time in Beyond Wrestling since he's come back from nearly a year absence. You almost wonder if he has as much to prove to himself as he does the other wrestlers here. Even still, Miyagi putting up a tremendous fight. I don't know how much more gas he has left in the tank. Corvis comes charging and gets met with the boot. Now Miyagi's got the arm hooked. Thought he was going for that tornado double underhook DDT. Oh, instead using Corvis's momentum against him. Taking him with that double underhook suplex in the corner. And I'll tell you what, once again, that's the closest that we've seen Johnny Miyagi coming to winning a match here in Beyond Wrestling. Amazingly. Corvis keeping him in position. Look at that, a snapmare with Corvis grounded. Caught him with the knee, caught him with the double chops. Oh! Miyagi, though, with all the times that he's been to Beyond Wrestling studio taping, he has seen Corvis go for that cross body block from that position, was able to get out of the way. Now taking off the pad to reveal that bony elbow. Again, nothing but skin and bone. It's going to hurt a lot more when those elbows come raining down on you. Believe me. It's not going to be as much force behind him because there's not as much muscle. That's a different story, though. Oh, just sent him face first across that top steel cable. I guess technically that's the bottom one. You're on the outside of the ring, that's the top. Now that Russian leg sweep. Spine first into that concrete pillar. Miyagi might be seriously hurt. The wrestlers here at the New England Pro Wrestling Academy cheering for Johnny Miyagi. Certainly not going to be cheering for Corvis. Now we go back and think of the incident where Corvis was almost stabbed a couple months ago. Oh! Out of desperation, Miyagi with that snap neck breaker on the concrete. Miyagi awkwardly throwing himself in the ring. Instead of going for the count-out victory, resetting the count on the floor. I think that if Miyagi pins Eric Corvis, picks up his first ever victory in Beyond Wrestling, he doesn't want a count-out victory. He wants to pin him. Unbelievable. What growth we've seen out of Johnny Miyagi here in Beyond Wrestling. Having to use all of his body's weight to roll his opponent onto his back. Unfortunately, that took too much time. Miyagi out of desperation. I think that he thought he had Corvis beat right there. And the wrestlers here at Beyond Wrestling are chanting Johnny Miyagi's name. Miyagi firing away again with those elbows. Taking too much time with that one. Corvis just repositioning him on his feet, taking him down with that crusher. Signature offense out of Corvis, although I've never seen him hit it out of that position before. And now Corvis again going to that book. And what has he got written down in there? Something strategy? Is it some sort of combination that he's looking to implement? I really can't tell you. Perhaps a maneuver he's never utilized before. He's brushing up on it. That's what training is for. Then again, when you have training partners, they can scout you. So instead of training, Corvis writes it down. That could be the best that I can assume from that. I've never actually looked into that book before. Corvis scaling to the top turnbuckle. Taking too much time. Johnny Miyagi, no way, no way. Oh my God, I don't know who that was a worse landing for. Corvis being thrown overhead with that vertical suplex. But Johnny Miyagi dumping himself on his own head, almost on a kamikaze mission. If this is Johnny Miyagi's last match, you better believe that he's going to do everything in his power to pick up a victory. And he's wrestling it like it is his last match. And if he's able to pick up a victory in Beyond Wrestling, maybe he won't want to wrestle anymore. Now all of the wrestlers surrounding the ring because of the fight that Miyagi's put up, stumbling around. Now coming charging in with that body splash, all 125 pounds of him. Oh, Corvis hooked the trunks. Ah! The elevated German suplex. Miyagi hitting every single one of the buckles on his way down. And Corvis trying to position Johnny Miyagi to the center of the ring where he can pin him, and Miyagi is holding onto that bottom rope with dear life. I think that if there's any doubters what Johnny Miyagi is capable of, point him in the direction of this match. Putting up more of a fight than we've ever seen in Beyond Wrestling. Miyagi able to land on his feet. Who gets caught? Corvis spinning him around. Corvis looking for that springboard ace crusher. Once again, Miyagi had it scouted. Kicking him in the face. Wrapping up the arm. And again, the neck breaker. We've seen Corvis take a couple nasty spills on his head. Miyagi's got him beat. Oh, the referee counted the pin, but I mean, we could tell from our vantage point, Corvis had the rope. Nevertheless, Johnny Miyagi picking up his first ever victory in Beyond Wrestling. Tainted or otherwise, it is always going to say on the record books from this day forward that Johnny Miyagi was victorious over Eric Corvis. What an upset! All the wrestlers coming to the ring to celebrate with him. And Corvis is livid. Wow! Johnny Miyagi picked up a victory. Wait a minute, what's Corvis bringing Tanya into the ring? Tanya's been doing camera on the floor. Now we have a second official. I mean, obviously a lapse in time right here. We had neither camera running because Tanya was showing the referee what was going on with her. Oh! Are you kidding me? Corvis is that desperate for a victory that he's had this match restarted? I'll tell you what, as long as I've been calling matches, as long as we've been running Beyond Wrestling, I can never remember an incident where somebody was so upset with the call of the official that they were willing to grab the camera person on the floor. Believe me, from a production standpoint, I'm not thrilled about this. All right, I don't like time lapses and jump cuts. You know, I still cannot believe what we just saw moments ago. Corvis so desperate to pick up a victory that he literally brought the camera woman into the ring to show the official that he had made a bad call. We saw both officials conversing. I mean, again, it's up to the official's discretion. I've never seen a match restarted under that context. And so unfortunately for Johnny Miyagi, I mean, he's still winless here in Beyond Wrestling. But this is a match that Corvis is certainly going to have some interest in. This is going to have huge ramifications for the top of the rankings here in Beyond Wrestling. We've got Jaka at plus 8 points. Pinkie Sanchez plus 5. And a first-time encounter between the two of them. Pinkie Sanchez, somebody that's wrestled for Jaka, Dragon Gate, Evolve, CCW. He's done it all in independent wrestling. But Jaka is a star on the rise. Ever since the former Johnny Mangway has donned this persona in a bid to become the #1 ranked wrestler in Beyond Wrestling, taking that vow of silence. You know, Johnny Mangway used to be known as the Smooth Savage. And for about a year now, we've seen nothing but the Savage. Whatever changes that Jaka has made have certainly worked to his benefit because he is one of the most successful members of the Beyond Wrestling roster. He's going to be looking to keep that momentum going up against Pinkie Sanchez. We saw some contests earlier tonight where it was easy to say, yeah, Drew Gulak has an advantage over Steve the Turtle Weiner. Not a surprise to see him pick up the victory. I mean, we saw one of the biggest upsets in Beyond Wrestling before the decision was reversed. When Johnny Miyagi, we thought he picked up his first victory over Eric Corvis, but these are two competitors that are very evenly matched. I can't say that I have a favorite going into this bout. You know, Pinkie Sanchez's antics outside of the ring aside, I mean, he can go. He's one hell of a performer. He's one hell of a competitor. Is he better than Jaka? That's what we're going to find out tonight. I think sometimes that people sell Pinkie Sanchez short because of those antics. We looked, you know, honestly, there was a time where it looked like he was going to be able to keep it together, especially when he aligned himself with Sugar Dunkerton and Aaron Epic in the KOA, but I think sometimes that Pinkie Sanchez can be his own worst enemy. Once again, he's back on his own here in Beyond Wrestling. And he's faced with the savage Jaka. Finally tying up. Pinkie Sanchez trying to apply that apply that waist lock by slipping through the side. But Jaka's just too strong. Jaka definitely has the strength advantage coming to this match. Jaka's such a well-rounded competitor. He's strong, he's fast, he's smart. He's very versatile in the ring, too. Sound striker, that he can go on the mat. Suplexes, slams, you name it. One advantage that he may have over Pinkie Sanchez, those taped fingers. The amount of damage that he can inflict. Now Jaka once again circling the ring with Pinkie Sanchez. Neither wants to make the first mistake. Believe it or not, our first time ever encounter. And as a result, a bit of a feeling out process, let's say. Neither wants to rush in. And instead, Pinkie had Jaka distracted, planted the boot to the midsection. Thought he was going to be looking to keep that side headlock applied. Instead, setting Jaka down with that arm drag. Jaka just brushing it off, not going to let Pinkie Sanchez get in his head. That's a mistake that so many of Pinkie's opponents make. If Pinkie's going to get silly, Jaka's going to try and beat him, believe it or not. Of course, Pinkie Sanchez, the sexual spider monkey, coming in, just charging with that drop toe hold. A running drop toe hold out of Pinkie Sanchez. Was able to shoot the half Nelson. Jaka was on it too. Snapmaring him right down to position. Catch him with a kick and the butt. Signature offense out of Pinkie Sanchez. And one thing that Jaka is susceptible to is that broken nose. We've seen it happen multiple times in matches when the blood starts to flow. That will always be a weakness. Of course, when the blood is flowing out of the nose, it makes it that much harder to draw breath into your lungs to keep on fighting the good fight. Gonna wonder if Pinkie's gonna try and continue to target the face. Of course, with that said, we've seen his opponents relatively ineffective when they try and strike the skull. Very thick head on Jaka. Pinkie, with all the momentum coming off the ropes, can barely budge the savage. Oh, he gets caught. There we go. Jaka using his head as a weapon. Pinkie retreating to the corner. Left his back open for that back rake. And now Jaka using those taped fingers to claw away at the face of Pinkie Sanchez. Jaka arguing with the official, and now Pinkie Sanchez going for the eyes. These guys taking it to each other tit for tat. And Pinkie Sanchez looks to be targeting the right knee. Well, perhaps I spoke too soon. I think he attacked the right knee just to get Jaka in a position off that vertical base. But then again, if Pinkie's going to be looking for a figure four, that's a maneuver that does damage to both legs. So he caught him from behind on the right leg with the chop block. Now trying to torque the left knee. Pinkie once again trying to jam up the leg of Jaka, and that's a good strategy, honestly. Jaka not wearing boots in this contest. It's going to be that much more prone to some of the attacks that Pinkie is making to his legs. Pinkie trying to keep him subdued with this rear chin lock, perhaps thinking the next way that he can do damage to the leg of Jaka. And when you've got a larger and stronger opponent, it makes sense to try and take away some of that strength. Of course, the leg muscle is some of the biggest and most powerful in the entire body. And Pinkie Sanchez knowing that, continuing to target the leg. Right there, just a sweeping kick, and Jaka crumbling in a heap of himself. Jaka could be seriously hurt. He could have fractured his shin with that exchange. Of course, if you get a boot all the way up to your knee, that leather, that protects you from attacks such as the one we just saw from Pinkie Sanchez. And now Pinkie with all of his body's weight, just a splash, trying to bend the knee in a direction that it does not go. Oh, just stomping away. And this is where Pinkie Sanchez likes to slow things down. This is the part of the match where Pinkie Sanchez does not get nearly enough credit. When he has his opponent down, he is very cerebral. Pinkie Sanchez knows how to put together and execute a strategy to defeat an opponent like Jaka. But one thing he may not have counted on is just the amount of heart that Jaka has. That boot staggering Jaka. And now Pinkie trying to take him overhead with that throw, but to no avail. Jaka, even still with the damage done to the leg, on an instinct alone, going for that inverted atomic drop. But he realized the mistake just milliseconds after his opponent's body's weight came down on that knee. Now pulling away at the face of Pinkie Sanchez. Jaka stumbling around. I can only speculate on how badly he is hurt, but I think that sweeping kick was a game changer. And while he was looking to stalk Pinkie Sanchez, follow him into that other corner, Pinkie was able to get the distance that he needed to continue to attack the leg of Jaka. And once again, we see Jaka back down on the mat. Pinkie taking too much time. Now Jaka using his opponent to prop himself up. A signature combination. And popping off that belly-to-belly overhead throw. Slow to get over to the pin. And Pinkie stays alive. Jaka starting to breathe heavy. You can sense that he's becoming very frustrated. And again, Pinkie had the speed advantage coming into this match. But without question, Jaka's just a step behind because of the damage done to the leg. Pinkie making a mistake right there, sending Jaka face first into that buckle. Again, the only thing I could be thinking of is maybe he's trying to do damage to that nose. Well, he caught Jaka there. Oh, look at that spinning kick to the side of the head. But Jaka responds with a chop, and Pinkie's out on the floor. Using his upper body strength to throw himself to the floor, but he landed bad on his foot when he came down. I think Jaka realizes he's getting caught up in the moment right there. Using his body as a missile, not the best strategy, especially when we don't have boots on. Again, hobbling around. Pinkie trying to go to the other side of the ring. Gets met with a back rake. We've seen many eye rakes, back rakes in this match from both competitors. It looks like the official's going to let it slide. Jaka's going to be careful not to get disqualified. He should not be putting his hands on the official. The official just doing his job, issuing the account on the floor. And now Jaka taking Pinkie Sanchez's monkey hat, shoving it right in his face. Very aggressive side out of the savage Jaka. Well, Jaka looking to fake out Pinkie. It looked like he was going to be going for that chop. Instead, connecting with the thrust kick. This time, Pinkie able to block him. Oh! And that's one way to try and neutralize those taped fingers of Jaka. And now Pinkie with a glancing blow of his own. Now doing it to the damaged leg. Trying to put Jaka on ice. More damage done to the right hand and the left leg of Jaka. And Jaka on hands and knees, crawling around like an animal. Can barely even stand up right now. But as Pinkie's drawn with some of the other wrestlers, Jaka fighting through the pain, connected with a number of shots to the chest. Jaka's all fired up right here. Oh! Oh! He just drove Pinkie Sanchez skull first to the back of that post, and Pinkie is still fighting back. Again, I think that has to do with the speed. He is just one step ahead of Jaka at every point in this match. Now Jaka really struggling as Pinkie Sanchez circling him. And now it looks like Pinkie knows he's done damage to the left leg. He knows he's done damage to the right arm. Now he's looking to do damage to the left arm. Pinkie Sanchez, believe it or not, systematically picking apart his opponent. Knowing how deadly those strikes can be. I mean, and Jaka can throw him with both arms, both legs, and his head. So Pinkie Sanchez basically trying to eliminate every single move from Jaka's arsenal. But in the position that he had him in, going for that figure four, and of course Jaka still favoring that arm, couldn't do anything to push Pinkie aside, push him off. But you gotta think that the pain in the legs right now is too much to handle. Of course, a maneuver like this doing damage mostly to the left leg, but that right leg is being bent in the opposite direction as well. And we saw Pinkie initially start his onslaught when he took Jaka down with that chop block. Jaka having to go to a chokehold to get that separation that he needed. Very evenly contested match, even though Pinkie Sanchez has been one step ahead of Jaka. The wrestlers here in the New England Pro Wrestling Academy very appreciative of the competitive nature of this match. Both of these guys bending the rules, but nobody outright cheating. Jaka's hurt. Oh no, trying to build momentum off the ropes. He crumbles, and Pinkie catching him with that flying ass to the back of the head. And I'll tell you what, I don't care if you're Jaka, if you're a Savage, who you are. That is always going to be one of the most vulnerable spots on the human body, where the base of the skull connects to the neck. That's where serious injury can occur. Now Pinkie with his sight set on that left leg once again. Just driving it down with the point of his elbow on the inside of the knee. I don't think Jaka knows where to go or what to do right now. He's hurting. I mean, he may be moments away from giving up. You're going to think that if Pinkie can get that figure forward leg lock applied once more, Jaka is donezo. Bringing Jaka up, that could have been a mistake. Now firing shots at the midsection. Man, Pinkie has attacked every single spot of the body throughout the course of this match. Pinkie, he cannot be affording to argue with the official right now. Worry about Jaka, don't worry about Kevin Quinn. Thought Jaka was going to be going for the choke bomb, and on 1 foot, charging with Pinkie Sanchez, driving him spine first into the turnbuckle, and again, the strength and the agility for slamming him down. Not enough coverage on that lateral press, even though he did have the leg hooked. Jaka trying to shake some life. A hold that he's certainly familiar with, that trapezius hold. Now trying to put himself in a point where he has optimum leverage. And even though damage has been done to that right hand, he's using probably the least damaged part of his body, the left hand, to inflict more punishment. Headbutt caught Pinkie behind the ear, not enough to knock him out. Jaka's going to try and get Pinkie Sanchez to submit right here. And with that body scissors applied, even though I don't think that he's going to be able to effectively grapevine the leg, that is extra weight that is on Pinkie. It's going to make it harder for him to escape the hold. Now Pinkie's reversed the hold by applying more pressure on the knees and driving his elbow into the right knee of Jaka. He's going to town. Pinkie's on a rampage. I think Jaka perhaps realizing that was a mistake, applying the body scissors. And Pinkie, instead of going for that figure four, looking for a sharpshooter. And this is another maneuver that does damage to both the legs. And of course, with the damage done to Jaka's upper body, it's going to be harder for him to crawl to the ropes if Pinkie can't apply the hold. Pinkie having trouble rolling Jaka over. Look at this, Jaka. He's got the arms in position. He's unbelievably able to apply the jaws of the Jaguar submission hold. The calling card of Jaka. Is he going to be able to defeat Pinkie Sanchez? Pinkie still in a point of optimum leverage and using the bottom of his boot to scrape away at the face of Jaka. Jaka forced to give up the hold. One of the longer contests in recent memory here being featured in All Killer. But again, we've got two competitors like Pinkie Sanchez and Jaka so evenly matched up. Not surprised to see this one go this long. Now Pinkie once again going to the eyes. Anything at this point to gain an advantage in the match. Now that was a smart move out of Jaka, able to keep himself positioned in the ring, but as he came charging in, again, just a step behind. And I don't know if Pinkie got all of that diving DDT. Is that going to be enough? 1, 2. Normally, Pinkie Sanchez drives his opponent straight down to the mat. He got caught with a kick. Instead, it looked like Jaka was trying to fight off the DDT. Pinkie didn't get all of it, and I think while Pinkie was trying to regain his composure, looking at some of the other wrestlers on ringside for advice maybe, that's when Jaka caught him with that kick. Jaka trying to get himself psyched up. Came charging in with all of his body's weight. Pinkie couldn't get out of the way. Jaka comes charging once again. That time, Pinkie caught him with the knee. And instead of going for the diving DDT, now flying butt first, that shining hiney from an elevated position. Pinkie thinking his best opportunity to put Jaka away is going to be with that figure four. He's got it fully applied. In the position that Jaka's in right now, he's either going to have to roll over, use his upper body strength to do that. He's going to have to get a good grip on the mat and push himself off, or he's going to have to drag himself to the ropes. The likely scenario is that Jaka's going to have to give it up. Pinkie Sanchez just slapping Jaka in the face. Jaka almost getting pinned to the mat. And the taped fingers of Jaka. Enough to break the hold, and unbelievably right to the jaws of the Jaguar. I cannot believe that Jaka was able to hit this submission hold from this position. This is incredible. The referee checking on Pinkie Sanchez, and Pinkie's finally giving it up. What an incredibly hard-fought victory out of Jaka. I think one area where Jaka was successful in this match is normally we see him rely on that high crossbody or that top rope splash, but again, the damage that had been done to his legs so early on in the bout, he cannot rely on that. Even with the damage done to his hand after he was slammed in that refrigerator, he wasn't even able to go after the choke block. So instead, he was able to weather the storm and pull Pinkie Sanchez into a position where he could rely on the jaws of the Jaguar submission. And here we have the main event of All Killer 13, Jaka victorious over Pinkie Sanchez and moving up to +9 points, inching ever so much closer to that #1 spot. Jaka extending his hand, showing respect to his opponent, Pinkie Sanchez. I don't know if he's going to be looking to attack him right here. That would be a bit uncharacteristic, but instead raising Pinkie Sanchez's hand so that Pinkie can have a moment too. Thank you, fans, for checking out All Killer 13. If you're watching this and you don't already, please make sure to subscribe to youtube.com/beyondwrestling. And before you know it, we'll be back with a new installment of All Killer.